Alright guys, I'm back with my WWE Raw review for the 23rd of the 11th, 2015. This Raw was obviously the fallout from Survivor Series, and obviously, as we would know, we're gonna have, obviously, on this show we had a few matches getting built up, or we could see a few matches that were getting built up on Raw, and Raw wasn't a bad show to watch. I wasn't like sitting there for 3 hours saying, why am I watching this shit? I was actually I actually liked a few things they did on this last episode of Raw, so it was good. I feel that, they focused the Divas twice on the show, which I think was pretty damn good. And then they had, basically, you had the main event getting built up from, obviously the Authority came out, and then when I saw the Authority come out, I thought, it's typical Authority, they're basically just gonna do whatever, but, they did that was whatever, but, we had a good match on Raw as well tonight. Reigns versus Rusev, that was a great match. Probably match of the night, I would say anyway. So Raw opens up this week. So Raw opens up with a segment. The Authority come out, and obviously typical Authority. They talk about how last night Reigns had a chance to to line himself with the Authority, and how basically Stephanie says that Roman Reigns speared Triple H and didn't want to join the Authority because he didn't join the Authority and speared Triple H, and then that cost him his chance to become the World Champion. And then they call out Sheamus. Sheamus comes out. Sheamus is basically Triple H and Stephanie's bitch now. Now Seth Rollins is injured. Now that's Sheamus' new role now. And basically he talks about how great they are and stuff like that. And he talks about him being the World Champion, and then Reigns comes out and says he wants to rematch tonight. Triple H says that if you was part of the Authority a few weeks ago and you decided to agree on my offer that we agreed on a few weeks ago, then you could have been still WWE Champion. And then he was like, oh well, I want my WWE title match tonight. And then Stephanie's like, you're gonna have a match tonight, but it's not gonna be against Sheamus, you're gonna be against Rusev. So tonight's main is Rusev versus Reigns. The first match tonight, which was Team 3D versus Bray and Harper. This was a goodish match. It wasn't that bad. Like I said, it was an alright match. And Luke Harper wins with the discus clothesline. Like I said, it was an alright opener, back and forth, basically from the Wyatts. After the match, the Wyatt family tapped Team 3D, and that's probably gonna. I don't know if we're gonna have I don't know if we're gonna have another Brothers of Destruction versus Wyatt family feud. I don't know, but I don't know what's going on with the Wyatt family at the minute and Team 3D. I don't know. Then we get to the second match now, which is Sasha Banks versus Becky, and Paige distracts Becky and Sasha gets the win via roll-up. It was a typical Divas match. And then Paige got a promo and Charlotte saying that she's like her dad, she cheats at winning matches, she's just playing the game, whatever, stuff like that. And yeah, basically that was it really. Then we get to a segment where the New Day celebrate their 1 year anniversary. They're basically, now they have unicorns, like toy unicorns, and they've got and then they got their heads like Kofi. His dreadlocks are like plaited now. That's kind of I mean, just little things like that just adds some good things to the character, and I like that. And then basically they're talking about their 1 year anniversary stuff and how they brought positivity to the WWE. And then the Lucha Dragons basically challenged him for, basically called him out. Call him like New Day run and stuff, and then the Usos come out and they poke fun at them and stuff like that. And then after that, the New Day run away. The New Day get attacked by the babyface tag teams. So it looks like at TLC we're gonna have New Day versus, defending the tag titles against Lucha Dragons and the Usos. Then we get to the third match tonight, which was Neville versus Mark Henry. Neville beats Mark Henry. Fourth match tonight, which was Ascension and Stardust versus PCP and Goldust. Titus hits the spine buster on one of the Ascension and gets the win. And then we get a promo from Zach Coulter. He talks about, he puts down basically America. Him and Del Rio put down America and stuff. Then Swag comes out. He says, how can you betray this country? This is what you used to be like a American. You are American, stuff like that. And how can you betray us and stuff like that? Typical kind of famous promo there. So it looks like we're gonna have another Swagger versus Del Rio feud again. How great is that gonna be? Not really great. I'm not really hoping anything good here. And then we get to the fifth match tonight, which was for the Divas title. It was Paige versus Charlotte. This was really good. I really like this because this was like a brawl. These are like two women who want to kick each other's asses, and this what really for many years the WWE haven't done. They haven't done like really big brawls with the Divas before. I know they've had the typical promo, those typical shitty promo things, what they do with the Divas normally, but on this segment right here, you could really tell that the WWE creative team or somebody backstage are letting these women do what they want to do, because these two women just went out there and they had a fucking great brawl. I really enjoyed this. It was better than your typical promo from the Divas or your typical match that you're going to have. We had a brawl, and I think this was really good. And another good thing I'd like to talk about is that on last week's episode of Raw, I know I didn't review it last week, but we had on the main event a contract signing. I mean, stuff like that for the Divas is really good stuff, because for many years the WWE have not cared about the Divas, and all they care about with the Divas is just them as eye candy. And them now to get them one of the main focuses on the roster, to have such a big part now in the roster now, finally get some interest back in the Divas division. It took a long time, but finally it looks like the WWE is finally, letting the Divas have like this similar time as the males do, because as it used to be before, like, the males used to get more time than the female wrestlers did, and it was kind of not fair on those guys, on those women, because we know some of those women are great wrestlers in that. And then another thing I like about this Divas division, that look at NXT, look at that awesome I Am Women match you had between Sasha Banks and Bayley. I think it was NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, it was Brooklyn. That was so awesome. I really enjoyed that match. Well done to both women on that match. It was awesome. That was a few months ago, but it was an awesome match. Then we went to sixth match tonight, which was Ambrose versus Dolph. Ambrose and Dolph, sorry. I know the internet fans are going, how great was this? How great was this tag team between Dolph Ziggler and Dean Ambrose? The greatest motherfucking team in the world. How great it would be to see them as WWE Tag Team Champions. I mean, really? Don't go that far. As Dean Ambrose and what the fuck was I saying? Dean Ambrose and Dolph Ziggler teaming up. I mean, I think if they did team up, then it's just for them something to do. But obviously, it looks like we're gonna have a Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens feud at TLC anyway, and also we're gonna continue this Tower Breeze and Dolph feud. Then we get to the main event, which is Rusev versus Regins. This was a really good, strong back and forth big guy match. It wasn't a slow, shitty match. It was a really quite fast paced actually. Reigns tries to go for that drop kick, DDT apron thing, and then Rusev countered with a super kick, which I thought was really good. That was a really good counter into it. Then Sheamus gets sent back to the back because he's interfering in Reigns' match, and then basically Reigns gets his comeback going on and stuff. Rusev rolls out the ring. Then King Barrett comes out and hits the ball hammer on Reigns, and then he starts attacking Reigns, so it means Rusev wins by DQ, and basically Reigns and Barrett are just basically attacking Barrett and Rusev are attacking Reigns, and then Reigns gets a steel chair and attacks them both, and he attacks Sheamus as well. And that's how Raw ended, and I thought that, I thought this last episode of Raw was a good I thought this also was a good show. I thought, you know, they built up matches for Survivor Series. They give the Divas more focus again, which was good. They gave Reigns and Sheamus more build for the match at TLC, and they also added some more potential matches like Kevin Owens versus Dean Ambrose, and also Dolph versus Tyler Breeze and stuff like that, which I thought was really good. And also probably triple threat tag match and stuff like that, and maybe a new feud for Adrian Neville, because it looks like Miz was watching Adrian Neville's match with probably a Miz and Adrian Neville pre-show match there. So yeah, and also we got a kind of a new authority kind of stable now. We got, you know, obviously still Triple H and Stephanie, but we got Sheamus, King Barrett, and Rusev. So yeah, I'm interested what that this is going to unfold for the next few months, and yeah. So what do you guys think of this last episode of Raw? Leave your thoughts on this last episode of Raw. That's what you guys brag out.